Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at this big fella right here, the product of Pete, Shirey, and Richard Launius, put out by Upper Deck, Shark Island. This is a game where one player is going to take on the role of a shark terrorizing an island somewhere on the coastal regions of America, possibly. And the other players are going to take on the roles of hunters that are trying to stop that shark from killing people and terrorizing the island. There are some winning conditions for the shark, and the winning condition for the hunters is simply making sure that the shark is dead. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get down to the table, and we'll see how it plays. So here I have a 4-player game of Shark Island set up for you. There are going to be 3 hunters in this game, and 1 player is going to take on the role of the shark. Now, the shark is going to be trying to terrorize these different islands that are out here on the board so that they can get different kinds of terror tokens, which will allow them to complete a certain goal. And those goals are found in these terror cards here. So there is a national press goal where the shark wins if the national press sensationalizes the attacks near the island. A total of 5 press tokens from this terror stack are necessary. So you have a number of different things that are here, as you can see there. So that's one way that they can win. Another way is Ghost Town. The shark wins if he has 12 total tokens out on the board, and that basically means that the entire island has been shut down. He also has the ability to get the mayor fired. 5 mayor tokens are necessary for this, and the shark wins if the town mayor is fired by the city council. And then finally, the resorts are closed. The shark wins if the resorts shut down. 5 resort closed tokens are necessary for this one. And so these are the different ways that the shark player can win. He chooses one at the beginning of the game and then keeps it secret behind his board. Now, the way that the hunters win is by killing the shark. Big shocker there, right? So you have this track here, which represents the number of hit points that the shark has. And if the players can get this token down to the red fin area down here, well, then they have won. The calendar phase is where you take the first card of the calendar deck and flip it over. The number at the top tells you how many extra island cards or tiles can be placed out during the shark phase. And so right now, no extra ones are going to be put out there, so it's just the number of hunters that are there. So 3 island tiles have been put out. Then it also has a special thing or event that governs something that might happen during the course of that game. Now, the island tiles have a few things on them that need to be gone over. First of all, this is the number of terror tiles that is represented on the back of the tile that the shark will gain if he is at this site and the hunters did not find him. This represents the number of fin tiles that will be able to be placed out on the islands during the course of the game, during the course of this round. And then this number is the number of confirmed sighting actions that can be carried out at this location. Now, during the course of the shark turn, he does have certain abilities that are available to him if he chooses to spend some of his shark tokens on these different things. So first of all, he can spend 2 tokens to gain an extra fin token, so upping the chances of him not being found. 3 tokens to gain the 2 hazard fin tokens, which will actually produce negative effects for the hunters should they turn these over during the searching phase and all that kind of stuff. Then there's 4 tokens gain you a shark skill card, which are these things right here. We'll go over in just a few moments. And then you can also get 4 tokens to heal 1 wound, but you can't go past those red numbers. That's what the red numbers are for the track over there. And then 8 tokens allows you to terrorize at night, so you can roll 3 dice and any shark icons gain you 1 terror. The shark skill cards can be played. This one says play during combat to restore your spent fight tokens, and you may remove 1 face-up combat card from each active hunter, so that's pretty bad. Then there's also this one hit and run, play at any time to take a random skill card from a hunter's hand and discard it. So these shark skill cards are really just things that will help you and hurt them. Now, once the shark phase has ended, denoted by him placing the last fin on one of the islands here, then the hunter phase takes place. Now, the hunter phase happens in basically 3 parts. The first part is rolling the dice to see what kind of, what 2 actions they will be able to carry out on their turn. And then finally, they will be able to either set sail or dry dock. Basically, set sail simply means you're going to travel out to one of these and search more for the shark, or you're going to stay in dry dock and try to repair your ship if you're down to 0 health here on your boat. Now, the first thing you do is you take the 3 dice and you're going to roll them. All right, so you're going to roll these, and that's actually a pretty good roll. The different faces are denoted by this. First of all, you're only going to be able to get 2 actions, so you wouldn't be able to do all 3 of these, but this one is a confirmed sighting, which simply means you're going to be able to take one of the shark fin tiles off of an island of your choice. Then there is the repair face, which basically allows you to heal 1 hit point on your boat. You also have the buoy phase, and if the buoys are rolled, if all 3 come up as buoys, then you deal 1 damage to the shark, which is actually pretty good. Then you also have the harpoon, which basically when you roll that one, it enables the hunter to draw one of their skill cards, which of course will up their hand, but you do have a hand limit of 3, so if you draw a 4th card, you'd have to discard down to 3. And then there's also the shark icon, which is right here. Every time a shark icon is rolled, you're going to award the shark with a shark coin, but that's where these reroll tokens come into play, because if you have a roll that does award tokens, or in a really bad case, if all 3 are rolled, this is actually really bad, because if all 3 are rolled at the same time, the shark player automatically gets 1 terror, which is one of these guys, which is one of his conditions for winning. And he's also going to be able to get 3 shark tokens. In addition to their regular face abilities, you can use any of the faces except for the confirmed sighting to basically gain a reroll token. So let's say that you roll a repair, a couple of repairs. You're going to use this to remove a shark fin, but then you can use one of these, since you don't need to heal your boat, to gain a reroll token. Okay, so on Anya's turn, she goes first. She's going to roll the dice here, and she gets 2 confirmed sightings and a repair. Well, she doesn't need the repair, so she's definitely going to use these 2 confirmed sightings. So we're going to go ahead and turn this one over, which is a giant manta ray, which doesn't do anything. It just goes back to the pool. And that is the most that we can do here, so there's a good possibility, that's too bad, that the shark is over here, but we don't know. We're going to go ahead and go over here and use another one, and let's go with this one right here. Yeah, all right. Well, we found the shark, which basically means that we know these aren't going to be anything, and these aren't anything as well. So that's actually a really cool thing, because now we can all set sail. For example, I'm going to go ahead and set sail and come on out here to the teens sailing, and so that we can combat that shark when we all get here. Now, even though we found the shark, we are going to go ahead and allow everybody else to go through all of their turns, because it is possible that we're going to be rolling these shark things, giving them more tokens, but it's also possible for us to heal our boats, gain skill cards, gain more reroll tokens. So we will go through our turns just so that we can make sure that we get as strong as we possibly can for that combat phase. Once everybody has had 2 cards dealt out to them, one face down and one face up, then it comes back to the first player, and they have to decide if they're going to hit or pass. So knowing that Anya here has 16 because of this doubler, he's going to go ahead and take 1. All right, so this one says Hunter may discard this card and 1 face-up card shark in their combat line when dealt. So he's going to go ahead and, or she's going to go ahead and do that, and so now he's really good to go. Over here, Sheriff is sitting at 12, 7, but only 5 showing, so they're going to hit, and now this doubles that, so this is 10 plus 7, so she's at 17. Over here, they're going to take a hit, and that is 10 plus 7, so they're at 17 as well. Then the shark comes back over here, and they have 4, and 11. Okay, well, that's that. So over here, Anya's sitting pretty good. She only has that 8 down there, so she's going to hit as well. And this is how it continues until one person, until everybody has passed. Now, if we take a hit and we don't like it, we can use our fight ability here and basically get rid of the card. All right, so we're definitely going to do that because we don't want another shark card up there. And so we turn this over. Anya's going to go ahead and stay as well. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and turn over all the cards so that we can see how everybody did. All right, and this one gets flipped over as well. So we have 15, 16, 17, 26. That's a bust. Bad things. Here we have 10 plus 15 is 25. That's a bust as well. Here we have 8 and 8, which is 16, which is safe. Now over here we have 10, 21, 25. So the shark busted. Anya, the oceanographer, did do damage. So now for every player that has defeated the shark will take 1 hit point of damage. Now, if any of the hunters get 23 dead on, they'll do an additional damage. Plus, there are some cards in their skill decks that would allow them to add to the number of damage dealt. But now, had the shark actually defeated the active players in combat, they would have been able to flip this over and gain that many terror tokens, flipping them over to see what they had gotten. So they got 2 national press and 1 resort here. Resort closed. So that means that they are almost halfway to finishing this one, with the caveat being that you have to have a minimum of 9 terror tokens out on the board, plus the 5 necessary, and 5 of those 9 have to be the what's necessary to complete your winning condition. And that's generally speaking how the game is played, with those different winning conditions kept in mind, where if the shark ever gets down to 0, the hunters automatically win, and if the shark accomplishes his winning condition by getting these different terror tiles, then he immediately wins. And that's how you play Shark Island. So that is Shark Island, a very neat, simple 1 versus all game. And I should say this was in the box as well. And I didn't use it during the video because it's basically a dice cup. So you take the dice, you put them in there, and you can, if you really want to, you know, make a lot of noise with the game. Usually we just, we did not use this. We did, however, if we found the shark, we went ahead and strapped this around the guy's neck somehow to represent that we had found him, he has been buoyed, and so forth and so on. That was just a kind of a thematic thing that we did while we were playing the game. Now, my first pro of the game is that it has a thematic feel to it. Now, I say that carefully, because it doesn't have thematic mechanisms in it. I'll put it that way, but they produce a feeling of being thematic. And the reason I say that is because, well, first of all, the whole idea of playing, you know, blackjack but up to 23 instead of 21 isn't thematic for combat, but it's interesting to an extent. It's not thematic though. Rolling dice, yeah, that can be kind of thematic, especially as far as searching for things and how are these different things going to come about, like confirmed sightings and harpoons and all this other kind of stuff. Not really thematic, but I get that there's some chance, there's some luck that's involved in searching for different things. So I get that, so that's there. The artistic job that is done in the game is also very good. I liked all of the different characters. I liked all of the different cards that had different kinds of the tiles that had different scenes on them and all that kind of stuff. It was also not thematic, but it was aesthetically pleasing. Not the best, but I did enjoy it, and it is one of the pros of the game for me. I also like the fact that there are variable player powers, and depending on the person that you choose, gives a different kind of skill deck because not all of these cards in all of the different decks are the same. They are different, and they each have different abilities within their skill decks, and they also have different abilities on their character card as well. They also have different ability for fighting, you know, rejecting some of those cards during combat. They also have different search abilities during the search phase. So there's a lot of different things that are going on that will make the game play differently depending upon the characters that are used. On top of that, the different ways that the shark can win provides a little bit of differentiation from one game to the other as well. So I do like those, how all of that kind of fits together. I liked all the choices that the sharks seem to have during the course of the game. They can use their tokens for a number of different things, healing themselves, purchasing new fin cards, bringing out some of those hazardous fin cards. There's a lot of things that the shark player can do, and I don't think that shark player ever feels like they are bored. It seems like, and I've played other one versus all games where it's possible for that one person who's by themselves to get kind of bored just watching everybody else play the game. That doesn't happen in this game, and that's one of the things that I liked about it. I think the most is that in a lot of one versus all games, I mean, the tension is there, don't get me wrong, but there isn't usually a lot of action that goes along with that tension, and sometimes that can wear on you. At least for me, it does. So in this game, the shark character, I think, feels involved in a lot of those different phases that the heroes, or the hunters rather, will go through during the course of a round, and I like that. Now, with all that having been said, I do think that there are a couple of cons that I feel like I need to mention. The first one being blackjack. Yeah, I get it. And it's simple. It's something that everybody knows. But blackjack in a game about sharks? Not so sure that that was a neat choice. Now, I didn't mind doing it during the game, but it just makes me kind of scratch my head. What made you think of that? And so while it's not really a con for the game, I just don't understand that choice that was made. I don't think it's necessarily a horrible choice, but at the same time, just kind of scratch my head. It works, I guess, and it is a familiar game that most people will understand, and you don't have to take a lot of time to explain combat rules and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's just kind of those, those things that make you go, why? And finally, the only other really con that I have are these little guys right here, the cardboard standee tokens. They look fine, they denote color and all that kind of stuff, but I prefer not to have, there are very few games out there that I give a pass to on the cardboard standees, and this one I'm not going to do that. Along with that, some of the other components, like for example, these dice are chunky, yes, but they have very angular sides, and I don't like angular sided dice. I'd rather have a little bit more rounded so that it feels like they roll a little bit more. Sometimes these just kind of fall and they land on the face that they are supposed to have. There's no rolling involved, and I like to have dice that roll. So that's kind of a minor quibble, though. I'm not really huge on either of those two cons, really, because the playing blackjack in the middle of a combat phase doesn't really bother me. I just don't understand why it was blackjack. So with all that having been said, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7 out of 10. I did really enjoy my experience with this game. My sons, who played it with me once, enjoyed their time with it as well. It is a fun, goofy game that I don't think is meant to be taken very seriously, because I know both of the people who designed the game, and they are both just fun-loving people. They just like to have a great time, chucking dice and oh wow, look what I just did. Man, if I can do this, I'm going to be able to do that, and that's the kind of people that they are, and that's the kind of game that this is. So if you don't like those kinds of games where there's a good bit of luck and randomness to it, and there's also just the chance for wild swings of luck, this is probably not the game for you. But if you do just kind of have a good time sitting around chucking some dice, playing these, you know, kind of take that kind of cards on the shark player and that kind of thing, then this is probably going to be a game that you'll enjoy. I enjoyed it, my kids enjoyed it, and we had a great time with it. So 7 out of 10 for me. I did enjoy the game a lot, and I hope that you guys will be able to pick this up and enjoy it as well. That's it from me for Shark Island. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side.